So coming to you live from the OpenStack and Beyond podcast at OpenStack Barcelona Summit 2016, a really exciting event. I'm here with Elizabeth Joseph, contributor to OpenStack Infrastructure Projects and the deliverer of the most awesome demo this morning I have seen in a while during the keynotes. First of all, congrats on an awesome demo. Tell me a little bit about the stuff that you've done in the context of OpenStack. You've done some awesome stuff, as I can see.
Right. So I work on the OpenStack infrastructure team. So we manage everything that developers interact with on the OpenStack project. So from the code review system to everything like the wikis and the bots and everything that they work with all the time. So I've worked on the Git servers and the translation software and all kinds of things that are touched in that infrastructure. And then in the keynote today, we worked on Node Pool, which is our node it handles all of the OpenStack clouds we interface with. So from a variety of different companies, it aggregates them so then we can run tests on all of those. So I'm involved with that as well.
Very cool. It's really cool stuff. It's really cool to see stuff working in production. You know, there have always been the debates of OpenStack production ready. I think that's long behind us. But where do you see OpenStack going from here? You know, kind of building it out at scale, like Jonathan mentioned in the keynotes. What are your thoughts on where OpenStack is going and where to kind of start working on?
Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of maturity in OpenStack right now. I just wrote a book recently that came out last month about OpenStack.
Congrats.
Thanks, and I was able to do it, all the demonstrations in the book are done through the Puppet modules. And the Puppet modules are now, they're all open source, and they're being used by a bunch of different companies in the OpenStack community. And I kind of see the fact that there's working configuration management as a really strong maturity point in OpenStack. So I think we're going to see a lot more companies adopting OpenStack and being able to deploy it themselves, which is a big thing. And then going sort of along with the keynote this morning, interoperability between different OpenStack clouds. So if someone doesn't want to run it, so like they'll be able to use a bunch of different OpenStack clouds, and hopefully the differences won't be too much. But you know, of course, we use a bunch of different OpenStack clouds every day, and it seems to be working for us. So I'm excited to see the evolution of that and to see much more of that happening.
Awesome. So yeah, we ourselves we use data centered and we use Rackspace, and that's what Cloudify believes in. I mean, we're an open source cloud orchestration tool that was built for interoperability based on Tosca, infrastructure agnostic. And I see that a lot of the big organizations are starting to talk about interoperability, that crazy interoperability demo. How do you think that plays into this whole open source disruption with tooling that is built for that from the ground up and is cloud native? What are your thoughts?
So we had a really good demonstration of what happens when you depend on Amazon last week. There was a big, huge internet outage related to DNS, and a lot of the Amazon customers were affected. And I think one of the things that OpenStack and this giant community of vendors offering clouds can do is offer a way out of that, because Amazon really has the corner market in clouds. But if you distribute your load against a bunch of different vendors, you're not going to have those problems. And I think that really, in addition to being open source, is the biggest strength of what OpenStack is and what it can provide to pretty much anyone who's building cloud-ready applications.
Which cloud do you think is the most natural fit to work with OpenStack if we're talking about a multi-cloud strategy or an interoperability strategy? In your own opinion, I suppose.
Which, company cloud?
Which clouds do you think have the best or are the most native to work with OpenStack, a natural fit?
I mean, I think because OpenStack got a lot of ideas from Amazon, really, and there was a lot of early on interoperability. It seems like that is a good fit early on. But I mean, with the way OpenStack is evolving, I mean, I think working with the Google Cloud and even Microsoft's cloud, they've been putting a lot of effort into making things slightly more interoperable. So I wouldn't really pick one, honestly. I think all of them have the potential to be good partners.
Excellent. And what are your thoughts on kind of the container projects, Magnum, anything around that, and the interoperability with the whole container sphere?
So containers are really big right now, so they seem to be important. I don't really work with them very much myself, but I think the progression of OpenStack supporting them is going to be really, really important moving forward. So I'm excited to see multiple projects tackling different pieces of that puzzle there.
Awesome. And just one last thought, from you about where OpenStack is going, where you'd like to see it going, how you've seen it kind of progress and the transitions it's made. Any thoughts there?
I mean, I'm really glad that there's much more focused on stability and upgrades and management of the cloud now. When I started working on OpenStack about 4 years ago, and it was all about features and adding more capabilities to it. And I'm like, guys, we need to like slow down and make this mature and stable. And I think the community's finally coming around and making sure that's a real priority, making sure that companies can upgrade their clouds and even install them. So I'm excited. I mean, it's funny to be excited about stability, but I'm an ops person, so that's totally what I am.
I've heard that before from people like Flavio and Monty Taylor in previous interviews. So yeah, that's definitely exciting to see us focusing on the weeds and not actually making it work. Is actually it's an exciting phase for OpenStack. So thank you, awesome demo. Keep rocking OpenStack and being an awesome woman of OpenStack, and see you around in the OpenStack community.